Yes, sir. It's your boy B Hayes back with another one, guys. So Bitcoin is definitely coming down to that $10,000, $11,000 territory, guys. The possibility for that happening is very, very high. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen with any asset or security. I'm just here sharing my opinion, guys, on what I believe will happen and just being straightforward with it. A lot of people would say, oh, it's a possibility it's going to come down, and it's a possibility it could go up. And I'm going to be straightforward and let you guys know exactly what I believe will take place and what will happen. But of course, during that analysts and those expectations, I told you guys to be prepared, just because of the market makers, the psychological points of the markets going into play. And I know how the market like to operate. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin had a crazy spike back up thousands of dollars and then come back down to crash, guys, because as we been alerted, guys, and let people know to get out of Shiba, get out of Bitcoin, before Shiba fell over 50%, before Bitcoin came down over 50+%, waiting at $50,000 plus territory that it was coming down to its 2018 all-time high of $20,000, guys. And once we came there, I didn't say, oh, now that happened, we called it and we about to go back up from here. I said, nope, that was just to reel you in so you wouldn't be so freaked out and say, oh, Bitcoin is about to crash from 50,000 down to 10,000. I mean, a lot of people definitely want to believe that, and they definitely didn't believe when I said it was coming from 50 to 20. That was just the first major spot that it was going to come to, and I knew it was then consolidate and hold off before it make another leg down. So I just said it's going to come from 50 to 20. Then once we got to 20, now what's your next move, Hayes? No, I don't think we're going up just yet. I believe we're about to come down to 1918, and if we crack 18,200, we is definitely coming down to around that $10,000 range, guys, and it's all going into play. And as you remember, whenever we had talked about the $20,000 range a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, we had came down from 31,000 to 25,000, and then we bounced right back up to 31,000 and came right back down to 25, bounced again, and then we finally broke down and came and fulfilled that $20,000 territory. So as we know, guys, people is losing buttloads and buttloads of money, guys, on Bitcoin. And after losing $60 million in Bitcoin, El Salvador's president buys more, guys. That goes ahead to show you the country's conviction on Bitcoin. People already know, the ones that's experienced, the ones that's been here for a few years or a decade. Bitcoin been out since 2010. For the early ones, the early adopters that got in way early on, congratulations. But as we know, for the ones that been here through these cycles, knows the ups and the downs and the cycles that Bitcoin go through. It be very hot for a moment, very bullish, running up thousands of percentage, meaning the other coins and Bitcoin be running up hundreds of percentage, and then all of a sudden the crash will come and Bitcoin will crash hard. It'll give back majority of those gains, crashing 70, 80, sometimes even 88%, guys, from its all-time high. So you have to be prepared for that and understand how the cycle works. You want to have an account where you're accumulating and holding Bitcoin for longevity, and you also want to have an account, this is not financial advice, this is just how I move in the markets. You also want to have an account to where you can navigate and get in and get out, buy when it's low and sell when it's high. So that way you skinning the cat in both ways. So anyways, guys, and you remember I brought the Bitcoin family to you guys' attention, letting you guys know this family that's inspiring. They sold a home, over 5,000 square footage of a home, sold that. They sold their cars, sold a lot of materialistic things, and got all cash, and then invested that cash into Bitcoin. Basically, a family went all in Bitcoin, got rid of everything they really owned, and living a life on the road. Now they traveling, and now they looking to be stationed in a country. I forget exactly what country it was. I want to believe it was somewhere over there in Turkey. I'm not 100% facts on that now, but they moved to a country, which is the important part. The country they moved to isn't taxing Bitcoin whenever they sell it after holding it for a certain period of time and all this good stuff. But basically, the way they got Bitcoin, they won't be getting taxed on it, and that's a major reason on why they chose to stay there, guys. And basically, the Bitcoin family has lost money, but they sold some Bitcoin at its peak. And it's crazy because they must have felt like, dang, we got to get something this level at 69,000. Or maybe they lying because they don't want to be looked at, you know, as they failed, or not they failed because they got in at 900, but looked at as like people just talking down on them, like, oh, y'all crazy, y'all should have sold. Or maybe they just trying to say they sold something, or, you know, you never know, or maybe they actually did. But my thing is, I recall them saying they wasn't going to sell any as of now, and they could have just had a change of heart by seeing those large numbers in their bank account, sold off a little bit, and blase woo woo. But anyways, guys, the Bitcoin family say they lost over $1 million on their investment this year alone, but sold a lot of Bitcoin at its peak. The Bitcoin family is down more than $1 million on their Bitcoin investment since the world's most popular digital coin peaked at around 69,000 in November 2021. Tatha, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, guys, is buying back the coin daily as he thinks it's bottoming out. In 2017, Tabitha, his wife, and 3 daughters liquidated all they owned, trading a 2,500 square foot house, not a 5,000 square foot house, my bad, you guys, and virtually all their earthly possessions for Bitcoin and a life on the road. This was back when the price of Bitcoin was around $900. So that was right. They got in at around 900, guys. Bitcoin is currently trading at around $19,200, guys. So they is still up massively on their whole entire portfolio, guys. But we know the sum is significantly different from being at 69,000 and 19,000. Regardless if you up or not, you're going to feel that hurt, you're going to feel that pain, being for the fact you know what you once had and what you got now. You will feel it, guys. So anyways, guys, let's take a look at this before we exit. The 5 reasons that Bitcoin had its worst quarter in more than a decade. Bitcoin lost about 58% of its value in the second quarter of 2022, posting its worst quarterly performance since 2011. Macroeconomic issues such as rising interest rates and rapid inflation led to the sell-off in stocks filtered through to the cryptocurrency market. But the industry has also seen a wave of liquidity concerns, with hedge funds, 3 Arrows Capital going into liquidation, and lending firm Celsius pausing withdrawals from customers. The quarter also saw the collapse of algorithmic stablecoin Terra USD, which sent shockwaves through the industry. So we already know, guys, it's a lot of different components. Like I tell you guys, it's never one reason in particular on why an asset or security is doing what it's doing. It's because of inflation. It got a little bit to do with Terra Luna collapsing the way it did. A lot of people starting to lose a little trust in cryptocurrency and starting to pull out. They see what's going on with the overall market, and they see the market in crypto is basically corresponding on the same algorithm and responding the same as right now what's going on in the economy. They're both coming down and crashing at the same time, and they both pulling back and spiking at the same time. Also, we know Bitcoin was also overbought for a short period of time, not meaning it was overbought, and I don't believe that the value and the worth of Bitcoin that was trading at 69K, that it can't be worth that. I believe it just got bought up and hyped up too quickly. It ran ahead of itself, if that makes sense to the people in the back. It ran way ahead of itself. It definitely can be worth that. It ain't going to be worth a lot more in the future, but I believe as far as the time horizon, and people, you know, quickly just hopped on, got excited, and overbought it, and now it's just, you know, consolidating, pulling back, breathing a little bit, and doing what it do from the cycle of things, knowing how Bitcoin normally operate. Plus we got all the other stuff that's going on to put even more pressure on that price to bring it down, which in theoretically speaking, this supposed to happen anyway, meaning after asset security ran up so high the way Bitcoin did, it's only right, logical to think this thing isn't just going to keep soaring from the psychological points of the market makers, all that, with people putting in billions of dollars, and they just not just going to let them people make money. It got to pull back. It got to do what it do, and you know, run how normal markets run. But like I say, guys, it's many different factors that's going into play on why Bitcoin is doing what it's doing. So you already know what to do, guys. Like I say, Edge Boy on Instagram at the B Hayes Show.